Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. And I'm so happy today that the friend I have with me is Mark Thomas. Hi, Mark. Here
Hi,
comes
Angie.
Mark. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, and everybody, you'll notice my background's a little bit different today, and that's because I'm at Fellowships of the Spirit, one of my most favorite places ever, a place that was founded by Mark Thomas and Elaine Thomas, okay, who is now on the other side, on the spirit side of life, but with us always, right, Mark?
Yeah, true story.
We can feel her all the time. Yeah. So we're gonna wait a second. Hang on, everybody. I just have to make sure I fix this, Mark, and we'll be all set to go. And we'll wait a second to see people come in. So we're giving you a couple minutes. We're sitting here right now. Fellowships of the Spirit is located right outside Lilydale, right outside the gates, not too far. And right now, Mark and I are looking out the window, and this to me is one of the best things about fellowships is you get to look at the lake, right, Mark?
Gorgeous setting. Yeah, it's right here on Cassadaga Lake, and it's one of the most special aspects of our facility. We have a whole wall of windows where we can, in the seminar room, you can look out over the lake.
Yeah, and a deck, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to come on and bring Mark on today so we could talk a little bit about Fellowships of the Spirit and how unique it is. I don't know if a lot of people realize it's called Fellowships of the Spirit School of Healing and Prophecy, and I'm lucky to be an associate director of the school. And it's amazing. The more I've done this job, like kind of over the past year, I've learned so much about the school. I'm a student, but you learn more when you're teaching it. And this school is unique. It's a unique, like nothing else I've ever gone to. And most people I talk to say the same thing. So I really wanted to come on with Mark so you too could get to hear about our amazing school and why it's different.
Yeah, sure.
Can you talk about that, Mark, a little bit?
We started in 1988. We've been around now 35 years, so it's a long time, and we've graduated a lot of classes of students. Our students come into us from all over the United States and Canada, and it's a very exciting program in that we basically have a training system that begins with our spiritual insight training courses that we've now combined into part one and part two, all in one extended weekend. And that's the precursor. That's where we learn the learning system that we use. And then our schools start each year in October and go through May. And some of the classes are online in Zoom, and some of them are in person. We have a faculty of 16 people that are from all of the United States and some other overseas. And we bring people to our facility so that they can get away from all of the entanglements that life has today, all of our distractions, all of the things that pull us. So we like people to be able to get away from those, come into our environment here where you can really focus on learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you say that, like about kind of getting away from everything, that's a part of what's unique about our program. What you say is we don't just teach mediumship and healing. We teach them, and it's important, and you have a lot of good teachers that come in to teach you different styles. But what's unique, Mark? What else do we teach?
Well, I think it's really much more mediumship. Mediumship, people want to become mediums. They'll be darn good mediums when they get through our school. But most people don't want to become professional mediums that come through our school. A whole lot of folks. But they do want to keenly develop their intuitive capabilities. These are skills. All of these are skills. Mm-hmm. There's some knowledge, of course, that you have to gather along the way, but a lot of this is skill development.
Yeah.
And we've learned how these processes work, how to dial in on your intuitive capabilities, how to become a really good spiritual healer. And those kinds of capabilities are such that we teach, and we teach it very, very well with a variety of instructors.
Yes, and that's important too. But also, you teach, and I know this is your part of the program, is how to go within, because isn't that the most important thing? Is to go within, connect to your heart, connect to spirit that way. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's, I mean, to me, that's the most important part of it.
Yeah, we truly have a foundation here, and we provide a context for people to learn. And that foundation is critical, and that's meditation.
Yeah.
Commitment to a daily meditation program, which you need to, we guide you in as to how to do that. We teach people how to meditate as a part of our program, and people get excited about the benefits that meditation brings to them. It brings a very holistic form of growth, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, to people.
So it's kind of a program that's, I mean, I teach the mediumship part as well as other teachers. And Tom Kratzley is a wonderful, amazing healer, and he teaches the healing part. And then you teach it. I don't want to say just meditation. Meditation is a big part of it, but it's going within, and you get to know yourself. We had students here this weekend, and we interviewed the students because we also have a ministerial program, and you can be ordained for a year, right? The first year.
At the end of 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, and
that an ordination as a conditional ordination, but also then you have to complete the studies the second year in order for that to continue.
Yeah. And so we were interviewing students, and one of the students said, I love learning about intuition because it's changing my life. I love learning about healing because it's healing my soul. I'm learning how to heal others, but it's healing me too. And she also said that about the part that you teach too, is I'm learning about, I'm getting to know myself. And how important is that?
It's crucial. If you're going to be one who is of service to the people and using these gifts of the Spirit, as we refer to them, to be of service to other people, you also, healer, heal thyself is a big part of this program. And people do a lot of growing. And the other thing you do, you don't do it in a vacuum. You do it in a community of fellow students and faculty that work very, very closely together over a 1 year or 2 year window.
Yeah. And there's something amazing that happens too. And right now we're teaching a year one, students that are in year one, we're coming to the end of it. And then students who are getting ready to complete year two as well. And there's something pretty magical that happens that everybody does learn, you know, the intuition and the healing. They get to know themselves and they bond. Right? We become a family.
Yeah, it's a spiritual community, and that's something that people are seeking today in our world. There's not enough of that. You know, churches used to supply that, social clubs used to supply that, but all of those have really, in many cases, diminished in their importance in people's lives. And what we're finding, you know, is through our school, people are finding spiritual community again.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing. Everybody needs that. So why don't we break it down and start with like spiritual insight training and talk a little bit about that, because that's a prerequisite of coming to school, and it's important, you know, all in of itself. Do you want to talk about that and how it started?
Sure. We started, Elaine and I, when we got married, I asked her, I said, how long have you been studying this work? She was already an accomplished medium by that point. She'd been studying with Reverend Edith Sandy Wendling in Buffalo at a seminary for about 13 years, and she was very competent. And I said, how long does it take to learn this? She goes, oh, a lot of years. I said, oh, people don't have that kind of time anymore. That takes too long. So I said, we got to find a better learning model that can advance people. So we searched for several years and found a system called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, commonly known as NLP by abbreviation. And there's a system inside that called modeling. And modeling, essentially, we teach you how to learn through the modeling approach on the spiritual insight training. And there's just three components of that. One is what a person believes about what they do is critical to their functioning. Very much, yeah. There's an old saying that goes, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And the second piece of this system of modeling is everything is done, we do things in a sequence. People that are professionally able to dial in intuitively and mediumistically have sequences they follow, and they're very well worn tracks, if you will, that they follow in. They don't even think about them anymore. They've just developed them. So that's one of the things that we're able to do with Elaine and others like her is break down what's the sequences they're using. I'll give you an example of how sequence matters. There's a joke we like to tell in spiritual insight training is that I'm going to use the same words but in a different sequence. You'll see the outcome. Johnny bit the dog. The dog bit Johnny. See what I mean? Two different, very different outcomes.
Very different
outcomes.
Same words.
Same words, different sequence.
Yeah.
Sequence matters more than we realize.
Yeah.
And then the third component is how a person works their body, how their physiology is enabled, how it's brought into the mix of what they do. You know, you have all of us have things we do really well. We don't think about them. We just do them. Yogi Berra had a great line I loved about this. And he used to say, you can't think and hit the ball at the same time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's about physiologically, when we get into the groove of what we do well, we work our body in the same way on a regular basis. We don't do different things once we've got, again, a well-worn track. We get in it, we stay with it. So what we did is with NLP is we looked at competence, we looked at excellence, and we said, okay, this is what people that are using their intuitive and healing capabilities well, this is how they work. So what we want to do is create a course that enables each person to find their own way to access, if you will, those capabilities. As Elaine always used to say, to access their birthright.
Yes, it's natural. I just have to say with that is it's all inside of you. And you're switching to a different frequency. You know, I love, we have an exercise on the piano, right? Where we go to upper, middle, and lower C,
Yeah.
you know, and it's all C, but you know, all still part of the same instrument. And that's what your intuitive gifts are. And your birthright, they're inside of you. We get away from it. You know, that we're born with those gifts. Like Elaine said, it's our birthright and they're right there. And then we start to go to school, you know, and we start to focus, instead of being focused on right brain and intuition, we start focusing on logic. And it's just really how our world is, right, Mark? And
it's a, you know, it's what you put your attention on is what you develop. And so our intuitive capabilities become not dormant, but they become recessive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an imbalance that happens. And what our courses do is we don't believe that you need to be just all right brain or intuitive and that's the answer to everything. But what we want is for people to bring harmony between their right and left brain, to bring harmony in terms of their intuitive and their rational cognitive capacities.
Because you need both.
And we absolutely need both. We live in a world which diminishes the intuitive.
Very much.
And builds up the rational, cognitive, all those kinds of things. That's all well and good, but it has its limits.
Yeah.
But so does the intuitive, if just by itself. But bringing those together through spiritual insight training, what we do is we teach you how to access those and balance those two things out, those two very important functions.
Very much.
And we can do that quickly in a weekend. And people said, oh, you can't do that in a weekend. We say, oh, yes, we can, because we've been doing it now for 37 years, and we have the same results each time we do this course. And Angie's now taken over Elaine's teaching load since Elaine passed away in 2023. But in 2022, Angie started taking over teaching those components of the course that Elaine has taught all these years. She's doing a great job.
Thanks, man.
And
Thank you. I have a good teacher. I have good teachers. Yes.
I got a good student too.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we are making this a true way to bring balance and harmony to your life and increase your capabilities, your human capabilities, your birthright capabilities, and reclaiming those. And that was what we started out to do when we created this course back in 1987. And when we first did the experimental one in our living room. And nowadays, you know, we've refined it over time. But essentially, there's three components. We teach you a system of meditation, and we do that repeatedly over the weekend, so you get really good and centered and grounded. We also teach spiritual healing on those weekends, and we get tremendous results, both working one-on-one, but also in groups doing healing.
Very much.
And then the third component is the development of your intuitive, your mediumistic, psychic channels. All those things are all kind of part of the intuitive arts, as we call them.
Yeah.
And the blending of those with your cognitive and your rational capacities. So when we put all those together, we've got a phenomenal weekend retreat. And as you can see, that course, because there's so much to it and it's so experiential, that we require you to be on site.
Yes.
And we have you come in here to our center. You get to meet the folks that are here. They're your classmates. We have people who have never delved into these things, these subjects before, all the way up through people who work professionally that want to get better with what they do.
Yes,
and
that
all
happens.
in the same course. And the course is designed to take you from wherever you are to your next levels in your development of these capabilities.
So true. Mark, why is meditation so important? You know, so many, and can everybody meditate? Because I hear that a lot. And I feel like that's I know it's the foundation, but I want you to talk about that. And can we all do it?
Anybody can meditate, because essentially that still silent core is in all of us. And the only problem we have is we get too busy and we ignore it.
Yeah.
And nobody taught us how to go there is the other part of the problem in many cases, whether it was in your spiritual development, religious development, or family or other connections. A lot of folks haven't been taught well or at all how to get to that still silent core that's inside all of us. It's the source of our beingness. It's the source of all of our energy and activity. And yet we live in a culture and a world that just focuses on the outer stuff. So meditation is a foundation. We have been teaching it here for 37 years. We have ways to help you. If you've meditated in groups before and not felt like you're getting anywhere, we can help you with that. We have a system of meditation instruction that is very effective at helping you get to that still silent core and becoming what I call comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, so true. So true. Can you give a technique, like a quick technique to our viewers? Like if anybody's thinking they'd like to maybe start learning how to meditate before you come to spiritual insight training?
Well, yeah. The first thing I would say to you is to start paying attention for a moment to the in and the outflow of your breath. Just pay attention to it. You don't normally pay attention to that. Just stop for a minute. And the in and the outflow of your breath. Just how deep are you breathing? Is it going deep in your chest? Does your belly come out when you breathe because you breathe in so deep? The deep breath is pushing your belly out, or is it more in the mid-chest range, or is it up high in your chest? Just pay attention to where's that breath going in. And that's the first step, I would say, towards physically becoming more aware of your space. You know, the one thing that we all have to have in life is breath. Yeah. You know, you can get by a little longer without food or water, but I got to tell you, you lose your breath, you're done pretty quickly.
You're done. Yeah.
And what we teach people is one of the most important things to pay attention to is your breath.
Because most people, we chest breathe, right? If you watch a baby,
high chest.
A baby breathes, their belly goes up and down, you know, and with us, it doesn't always. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's only one of the approaches we use. Some folks are better off with a mantra or a sound. We can help you with that. And then other folks need a visual point, something to focus their eyes and their concentration on, both their physical eyes, but also their mental focus of eyes. And we work with people, you know, in any of those three ways to help them get to the place where you alternate thoughts and that focal point, either paying attention to your breath or listening to a sound or a mantra or a visual focal point. Any one of those three can work. What we found, everybody has a way that feels more comfortable to them.
We're all wired differently.
Yeah,
correct?
We are. We're wired. And so when we get to that place where we have that awareness, then what we do is have you focus, let your thoughts run, and just come back to the focal point. When I was a kid, we had these teeter-totters in the playgrounds, you know, so it'd be like one of those up and down, up and down. Thought, focal point, thought, focal point, thought, focal point.
Yeah.
You just let it go back and forth. People think, oh, I sat down to meditate, but I was thinking the whole time, or my body was giving me this or that or the other, or my emotions were running with me and blah, blah, blah. I go, that's all good. And they go, good.
I have to stop my thoughts.
I'm
That's what
supposed
people
to
think.
stop and go to
Yeah,
nothing. And
yeah.
no, time out. We don't go there. Where you go is follow the process, and you will settle down into that.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to jam your thoughts, you try to jam your emotions or your body sensations and make them go away, guess what they're going to be? They're going to be in your face.
Yes.
They're going to come right back in your face, and they're going to be with you the whole time, and
Yeah.
you're going to get done and feel like you've been in a battle, not in a meditation.
Yes,
Right?
it's true.
And what we
it's
teach
true.
people is all that stuff is part of the natural process. Your thoughts are your friends, not your foe in meditation.
Even in meditation, yes, because people think that I can't stop thinking,
Yeah.
right? But that's who we are.
Yeah, and thoughts are going to be there, and if you work the processes we have, what ends up happening is you settle into the quiet.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that because I've taken the course many times and teach it. So another question, why is healing important? Because energy healing is part of our course as well.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of systems of laying hands on a healing. There are evangelical Christians. There are other folks like in the Roman Catholic traditions. There are Reiki healers. There are folks that do therapeutic touch, like Dolores Krieger's work. There's so many systems of teaching healing. And they're all, for ones I've run across, are all, and I just mentioned, are all legitimate. They all do make a difference in people's lives. They all bring the healing energy. But the healing energy, as we teach it, is universal.
Yeah.
It's not for special people, just like your intuitive or mediumistic capacities are not just for special people. They are with all of us all the time. And the key is finding a way to access those, to be of service to other people, and not to become attached to getting a result specific, like I got it, this person's got a heart disease and I'm going to make their heart disease go away. No, what you want to do is bring the energy through your body, through your hands. If we're doing laying on hands healing, either working on the body or off the body, we don't have to touch, because the energy goes wherever it needs to go. But it's our prayer intention, it's our focus coming through the heart center of our body, and then directing that energy out to whomever we're working with. That's one of the ways that healing can happen.
Beautiful.
We teach, and there are other ways as well. We have many approaches, many methods of healing that we use.
And of course, developing your intuition is so important.
Mm-hmm.
To do readings for other people is part of it. And mediumship, that's a component of what we teach as well. But so intuition and mediumship for readings, but also intuition, because it changes your life. When it's a tool that we all have, that we're all born with. And if you're paying attention to your gut feelings or, your knowing senses, we all have that, right? And a lot of times it's, oh, I just knew I shouldn't have gone home that way. Or, I knew I shouldn't have done that, and you kind of say it after and you realize it after. And when you develop your intuition, you're paying attention to that stuff all the time. And it's a tool for us in our daily life, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And, it's paying attention to those, what we call hunches or those little guidances that we get, and following up on them and making good use of them, acting as if they are just as legitimate as anything else in our lives.
Very much, very much. And I just want to put in mediumship and intuition too, because if you're interested in that, this is the school to come to, because you learn. I teach you, and Elaine Thomas is still here with me, whispering in my ear, because I learned from her for so many years. So I know how to teach a lot of the things that she taught. And we have expert mediums and intuitives that come in from around the world. So, so you get to learn, Elaine always said, take the best and leave the rest. And and just like the different techniques, I'm the teacher, and I listen to the teachers that we have come in. I'm learning too. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lifelong learning process.
Yeah.
There's anybody that says, "Oh, I know how to do this. I'm the best. I can do this." It's like,
no.
they've just plateaued themselves. It's exactly what they've done. They've just reached a certain position of growth, and they've just decided to get, quite frankly, lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm good enough as I am. The bottom line is if you're doing work, anything in the spiritual realms, you really do need to develop an approach to life, which is I'll be learning the entire rest of my life.
Me too.
Mm.
So if we talk about like how this program changes people's lives, because it does, and we hear it over and over again from every student that comes in, how has it changed your life?
Well, I don't think there's anything I do that hasn't been affected by, the fact that I've been meditating since 1976.
Wow.
On pretty much daily basis all these years.
He's an expert.
And so, well, yeah, I don't know about that because I'm still learning. So I kind of look as I'm always a student.
I hear you.
I'm always
I know
a
what you
student
mean. Yeah.
when it comes to this stuff. But, it's, it touches every aspect of my life. My intuitive capacities. I was an administrator at county government, then at state government. And, you can walk into a situation, things that you don't necessarily physically know, that there aren't sensory-based cues, but intuitive cues you get from things. And you just know things, not just ahead of time, but that are going on right here, right now. You're aware of things in the environment, all of which can be extremely helpful.
Yeah.
The healing work, the laying on of hands healing. I've had so many opportunities to work with people over the years doing healing sessions privately and also in groups with people, and had some rather remarkable results with folks, So, and meditation, so all three of those components that we teach in the school, spiritual insight training and the school, I've had so much experience with over the years that it's just like, to me, it's second nature. The folks coming at it that are new to it, it isn't second nature at all to them.
Yeah.
Can be a little scary because we live in a world that teaches it that it's scary. Yeah. It's not scary. Yeah. It is, to those of us that are well versed in it, it's ordinary, not extraordinary.
Yeah.
They even put the name extraordinary or ESP, right?
Yeah.
Extrasensory, like it's short for extraordinary sensory perception. And it's not extraordinary.
No.
It's just
it's who you are.
Once you get comfortable with it and know where the levers are, how it works, what ends up happening is you can direct that show. You work spiritually. You work to be of service. It's not about you. It's about what you can do to be of service to others.
Which is, I love that you said that too, because it's about healing, and that's what we do in everything we do, in every way we teach. It's about healing ourselves and healing others. Mediumship is about healing others. It's all healing.
Well, the way we teach it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are those that teach mediumship and psychic development. It's just the necessity of proving that people are alive after they die, or they're in a different dimension after they die, and their life goes on. Well, I don't need to prove that. I've had faith that that's been that way since I was a little kid. I was raised in a Methodist family. The Christian teachings are that we all live beyond death.
Mine too.
And so, I don't need proof. Yeah. I have faith.
Yeah.
When you have faith, proof is like secondary.
Yeah.
Now, so a lot of folks in spiritualism think that that's the primary purpose for spiritualism, is proving that life goes on. It's like, I don't think so. I think that spiritualism's birth, and it goes way back before the Fox sisters and the phenomena that they were into.
Yeah.
Spiritualism's been around for a long, long time. And, when it's at its best, it's about serving other people with our capabilities, with our gifts of the spirit.
Right. And what's going to help them most, what's going to help them heal or feel empowered. Empowerment is a huge part of it.
Truly is. It really is. Inspiration, empowerment, healing, body, mind, spirit, you name it. How can we use these capabilities for good, for others?
Very much.
Instead of self-aggrandizement.
And isn't that what we need in our world? Right?
Oh,
we need that in our
so
world.
Much about this world. It's about celebrity and about, me, and we're about, hey, how can we be of service to each other? How can we help bring more peace, harmony, health, well-being to each other?
Yeah, because what a difference if we all started to do that. I love that you said because you're intuitive, and if you really wanted to do readings, you could, but you don't,
Yeah, I've never had any interest. Elaine, my late wife, Elaine was a great medium, and that was her work.
Yeah.
I had no interest in doing that work that way. That doesn't mean I don't use my intuitive capabilities all the time, because I do.
Right. And I love that you said that, because when you learn it, it's for both things. It's to enhance your life and to help others. So
Right.
both.
Yeah.
So okay. So why should people come to our school?
I think if you're a person who's at a stage of life where you really want to grow spiritually in a holistic way, in a way that is not just about learning skills, but it's about learning skills and, in addition to that, growing from the depths of your being, getting rid of old stuff you're walking around with, and bringing about a more joyous, aligned spiritual walk, we got a program for you.
Absolutely. We sure do. We sure do. So, anything else, Mark? Any last thoughts?
No, I just I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too.
It never gets dull. I've
I
been
know.
teaching it for all these years, and every class is different. Every time we teach it, it's the same material, but essentially helping people grow in the ways we do. It's exciting. It's very rewarding as well.
It's so much fun, and your heart is so full. I mean, when I'm here, my heart is just full, and all the students say the same thing. And I think that there's so much love here and heart.
Yeah,
It started with you and Elaine.
well, we
Yeah.
did, but it really started with her teacher too, Reverend Wendling.
Yes, yes.
Was we didn't just create this approach. This goes way back to the 1800s. It goes way back to England, to the Doyles. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle of Sherlock Holmes fame was the teacher of Elaine's teacher.
Yeah.
And his wife, Lady Doyle, who was a trance medium. And Conan Doyle wrote a lot of books about spiritualism. He's known best for the Sherlock Holmes books, but he also wrote and did a lot of research in the psychic awareness and psychic development area.
Pretty amazing.
In England. That was in the 1800s. So, it's a tradition that goes way back before them even. And, the bottom line is there's a way, there's an approach that we take, that this work needs to be about healing.
Mm-hmm.
Healing of self, healing of others, and bringing about harmony, joy, inspiration, and upliftment to other people. And when we do that, what we end up is having a better world.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And I just want to mention, so Fellowships of the Spirit, we talked about the school and the spiritual insight training programs, and we also have a full summer program with all. We're so excited, aren't you, Mark, about the courses?
Yes, we have a very good summer.
We do.
Well, summer program, but also other programs during the year round. But we focus in the summer on on depth training. If you're interested in these fields, we have teachers that come in for weekend seminars, and some of them are on Zoom, some of them are just in person only.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line here is we provide you depth training in the various courses that we want. That's been our way to do this, our modus operandi since the beginning. And we continue to do that in our summer program this summer. Very excited about. We've got Tina Zion coming back.
Medical intuition she teaches, and she teaches it in depth and the most correct way I've ever seen it taught.
And very ethical.
Very ethical. Very good. Yeah.
And then we've got Patty Conklin coming in, who teaches a system of healing that she's put together over the years. And she was here a lot of years ago, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And was a very popular teacher, great depth in her work. And then you've got a gentleman who's going to teach sound.
Kirk Jones is going to teach, if you want to get certified in sound healing, and that's something everybody loves right now. He's going to teach you how to do that and how to play the bowls, use the bowls for healing, use the bowls for ceremony. If you want to learn how to do a sound bath healing in your home or your place. So all of that. He's a good teacher. I learned from him.
That's great. And then Tuesday night, speaking of yoga and sound, we got Tuesday nights. We have what we call weeknights at the lake going on with Nancy Lombardo, who's from Lilydale. And Nancy's a certified yoga instructor, but she also incorporates the sound bowl healings along with the yoga, getting phenomenal results with that. people are having some very special spiritual experiences as a part of their yoga.
And her
so-
yoga classes are amazing. You know, you really get a lot out of it. Your body feels fantastic, and she adapts it. So if you're a beginner, I had surgery, so I can't do heavy duty yoga, and she adapts it so it fits for you.
That's right.
Which is wonderful.
She's really good. And then over here, Angie is going to do Wednesday night spiritual development circles. Is doing it now, but will continue to do it through the summer.
In person, everybody. So in person, you can come to fellowships, and you can see our background here. We're actually sitting in the school now, and this room is large. The energy is fantastic, and definitely come down every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's in the summer.
Yes, summertime. Yeah, starts end of June.
The other thing we have is we have worship services here.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a church, and we have Sunday night worship services we call Vespers.
Yeah.
It's at 6 o'clock in the evening currently.
Yeah.
In the summer, it'll probably likely slip up to 7 o'clock in the evening when there's more daylight for people for driving and so forth. But that's a very focused worship service around healing, prayers and healing. And it's a very participative worship service. It's not just somebody getting up talking for a half hour and so forth, but a lot of time we have meditation, we have songs, we have healing prayers, we have people share their joys and concerns. And then we afterwards have a fellowship hour where people bring food in and we sit and visit and have some food together and lots of great conversations. So we invite you to come in and enjoy a rather unique kind of worship experience we have here, right? On
Open to all, right, Mark?
Yeah,
open to all. And
anybody.
Yeah.
And so that's at 6 p.m. on Sunday evenings.
Yeah, and that's going on now. That's
already
summer.
started.
That's happening now.
It'll go all the way through November.
That's tonight.
Yep,
If
tonight.
anybody's around, come tonight.
Come tonight. We're here, and we'll be here. And it's a very joyous and it's a lovely way to do worship.
Yeah.
And people have been receiving it quite well. Then we have other programs going on. Jill Matson is one of our standbys. She's been teaching here for years. Diana Burney, another one.
Yeah.
These women offer tremendous depth in their programs.
Yes.
And are very seasoned instructors.
Very much. Susie Rosinski, beginning of June, I think it's June 1st, is a Qigong class, and she's a phenomenal teacher.
Yeah.
So lots of stuff. Our website is fellowshipsspirit.org. So it's with 2 S's. And I will post that in comments. I can't post it right now because I'm sitting up here. But if you look in comments, you'll see our website. Okay, and take a look. And I think we have everything up on the website for summer.
Yeah, we have our program is up, and we really invite you to do yourself a favor. Come take some courses with us.
Yeah,
we offer very good programs, and we are affordable, and we have a tremendous quality of instruction.
Very much.
We don't put on stuff just to put it on. We put on and we vet people that are going to instruct for us to make sure that they have quality instruction.
100%. That's important to us.
It is.
As it is to you too.
That's right.
So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah,
right.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it so much. I'll see you next week, Sunday at noon. And I'm going to have Tina Zion as my guest. I'm very excited to talk about medical intuition and also the course she's going to be teaching here at Fellowships. So thank you, Mark. I hope everybody, y'all have a great day. The sun is shining here, so hope it is by you as well.